I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're unraveling a terrific book. It's called The Devil Hound, In Search of Family. And it's written by a terrific author. His name is Franklin Lamca. It is a thrilling historical novel that takes us from the 18th century Europe to the American colonies. It's a story that follows two innocent brothers pursued by an evil priest across continents, battling to survive and reconnect with their mother. It's a tale of resilience, cultural heritage, and the relentless pursuit of family in the face of prejudice and danger. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Franklin, great to see you here today on Spotlight. Thank you for joining me.
And thank you for having me.
This is quite an original story. How did you come up with the concept?
The concept was based on the fact that I had spent 3 years in Germany doing marionette shows for children, and I came across a lot of Romani, or AKA gypsies, as most people know them, and I saw the blight they lived under, and that sort of set off a pet peeve with me, knowing that some people are still discriminated against in 2020 whatever, after centuries and centuries of persecution.
It's amazing. It is kind of like a mysterious culture that people don't know much about. They live in numerous countries in Europe. So it was a fascinating aspect to explore. And then you also have the aspect of the antagonist priest. Tell us a little bit about what drives his intense pursuit of the brothers.
The brothers witnessed a crime that he committed in Switzerland, and he is trying to eliminate them because he blames them for him losing his opportunity to become a bishop. And he was robed for that and defrocked for that crime. And his prejudice against the gypsies in general, combined with the fact that they witnessed him in the act of a rape of a young teenage girl, has caused him to want to have them destroyed.
What was it like trying to set a story in 18th century Europe and colonial America?
Well, the life for a Romani or a gypsy was terrible, because in most of Europe in the mid-18th century, as a result of the Spanish Inquisition and the Rome Inquisition, if a gypsy was captured, they would remove one of his ears, either his right ear or his left ear, depending on which country it was. The second time they were captured, they would remove the other ear. And the judicial system on the third capture would hang the gypsy. So they spent their whole life in persecution.
Justice was quite severe back then.
I'm sorry?
So-called justice was quite severe back then.
Right, it was. And the question becomes, is justice equal for everyone under the law, or just for the privileged? And it certainly was, in those days, at least in Europe, a matter of justice for the privileged only.
Yeah. And it seems like even today, it's a matter of justice for the privileged only in the United States in the year 2024.
Little has changed, except perhaps the severity of the justice.
Exactly. Now they don't cut off your ears, at least, or hang you. Yeah. Tell us about the brothers' journey to the new world and the role it plays in their personal growth and resilience.
Okay. The gypsies began their lives as slaves in Romania. Their mother was forced into an unwanted relationship with a Romanian count. And after his passing, the count's wife was determined to have her removed because of her relationship with her husband. So she was sold into slavery to Quebec and sent to Quebec. And the Gypsy brothers had to remain in Romania. When they became in their late teens, they wanted to go to America to find their mother. They were benefactors of an endowment from an Italian gypsy owner, and with that money, they made their journey to New France, or Quebec as it was also called, to find their mother and to free her.
Amazing. That's a very interesting part of the story, no doubt. Part of their epic journey.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the title, The Devil Hound. What does that
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, the Devil Hound, I borrowed the terms from Dante's Inferno and John Milton's Paradise Lost, where the devil hounds represented sin and evil. And certainly, this particular priest was the manifestation of all of those qualities. That's not to degrade the many thousands of men and women who serve in that capacity who are sincere, but this man never wanted to become a priest, but was forced into the priesthood by his family.
Let's give the folks at home an overview of the story. You have these two Romani brothers who are pursued by this priest. Tell us a little bit more. Paint a little picture for us of what the story is about.
Okay. The story really deals with several issues. One is injustice, one is abuse of power, the other is the mistreatment of women. And these all come together and come to play in this trilogy, because the particular book we're talking about right now is the second in the trilogy. And the book is intended to explain how these factors all come together when misused by someone in power. The book begins in Romania. As I said, the mother was a slave, and slavery wasn't abolished in Romania until 1864. So this was 100 years before the abolition of slavery in Romania. And she is raped by the Romanian priest, who ends up dying under suspicious circumstances. And when she comes to America as a slave and sent to Quebec, she is nothing is much better for her. And the gypsy boys who witnessed the rape of the Swiss girl with their endowment come to America, or albeit New France, to look for their mother. And they end up rescuing their mother. The victim of the rape is an incredible woman, because she finds a way to forgive and ends up getting her child back. And they all become involved in the French and Indian War of 1758. And the book ends with the fall of Quebec in the French and Indian War.
So there are three books in this series. Tell us where the first book begins and how they all fit in, the different puzzle pieces of this trilogy.
The first book begins with the captivity in Romania, the boys' rescue from slavery by an Italian circus master, the circus master's endowment to them in his will, and then they're ready to leave to come to America. The second book here begins with the journey to America on a ship, and some of the other characters that are in the first book are also aboard the ship, coming for various reasons. The third book begins with the gypsies being in Quebec and some of the other characters being in the United States. It begins with the attack on Fort Duquesne by General Braddock, their capture, and ends up in Quebec with the General Wolfe attacking the French there.
Have you envisioned this series as a TV series? It seems like there's a lot to unpack there. It could be a number of films.
Yes, actually, yeah, that's my wildest dream, that I can sell it as a Netflix series or whatever, because there's a lot of phases to this whole trilogy. Yes.
Yeah. And they're period pieces as well, which is of interest. You're learning about different cultures, crime, travel to the new world. I think there's a lot there, a lot of great visual elements, a lot of great stories and sub-stories. So I think it would be a terrific Netflix series, Amazon Prime series, Hulu, you name it. So Hollywood, if you're listening, take these books, look at them, consider them, and turn them into screenplays. I think it'd be a wonderful addition to your lineup, no doubt. The name of the book we've been talking about today is called The Devil Hound in Search of Family by Franklin Lamca. It is a gripping historical thriller that takes us from 18th century Europe to the American colonies. It is a story that follows two innocent Romani brothers pursued by an evil priest across continents, battling to survive and reconnect with their mother. It's part of a 3-book series. They all sound terrific. We focus on the second book of the series today. And before we leave you today, Franklin, what would you like the readers to take away from these books? What's your hope and goal for that?
What I'd like them to take away from it is that there is a balance between good and evil, as we call it. I would like them to take away that there is hope for the downtrodden. In the case of the rape victim who puts her life together, devotes her life to her faith, reclaims her position as a mother. I'd like them to understand that the way we view other people, whether a different race, a different ethnic group, a different religion, we should be more open-minded and understand that there's other people in the world besides ourselves.
Wonderful goals, wonderful viewpoints, and I do think that the readers will take away just that from this book and the other books as well. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
And thank you, Logan.
I appreciate your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.